Yeah.
Again, with a very similar pattern. We do have some lake effect snow to contend with for the next couple of days. What's falling right now is more associated with this area of low pressure, so it's more synoptic snow. It's on the larger scale where we will see the lake effect snow pick up later today, mainly tomorrow into Wednesday, as we're watching some very cold air move over the relatively warmer lakes and fairly ice-free lakes still. See, the snow is falling northern Michigan, some snow falling in the UP of Michigan, and then we'll start to see it pick up in intensity across the Lake Erie snow belt. And then, of course, in the Tug Hill Plateau, where we're likely to see some of the highest snowfall amounts over the next couple of days. So let's watch as we see this low pressure system. By the way, there's some wind packed into this system, too. By Tuesday, we have the long fetch across the lake that's depositing snow. There you go, just south of Buffalo, some of the Buffalo South towns too, picking up quite a bit of snow from this. And then into the Tug Hill Plateau. Now, depending on the exact wind direction, of course, that's going to depend on who sees the most snow. But right now it looks between the Watertown and Syracuse area, and then between Buffalo down to Erie, Traverse City, Grand Rapids, likely to pick up some light snowfall accumulations as we head throughout the week. But then we get to the weekend and there's a whole nother system that's going to be moving through, so we really don't see too much of a break, at least within the next week, maybe even extending beyond that. UP of Michigan, that's manageable snow, 5 to 8 inches of snow, but look at this, 2 feet of snow in the Tug Hill Plateau, and Lake Erie snow belt, we're anywhere between 12 to 18. Steph? Welcome into America's Morning headquarters on this Monday, and deep breath. We hope that this week is a lot easier travel-wise than it was last week with back-to-back Winter Storm Blair and Cora. And now our pattern is pretty quiet. We have a lot of green on the map. We're good to go for so many of our major airports this morning. Could we see some slowdowns as the snow moves into Buffalo? It's possible, but that's an airport that is very accustomed to seeing snow. We're clear in Boston, Baltimore, Atlanta. That's a nice change, right? It took almost the entire weekend to get caught up from what happened with Winter Storm Cora and the snow and the ice. Trust me, I was caught up in that too. We have some rain moving around the I-10 corridor in Florida this morning. Tallahassee seeing some very heavy rain that will eventually move into the Jacksonville area. It'll sink to the south as we go throughout the day, bringing in areas like Tampa and Orlando. But where the air is cold enough across the Carolinas, perhaps you're seeing some flurries this morning just south of Charlotte, maybe even some freezing rain mixing into that. So be really careful out there, not to mention that all of the moisture that's still on the ground might be refreezing. So it might be a bit of a slick commute this morning. Keep that in mind. The rain is mostly south of Atlanta, heavy rain along the I-10 corridor from Tallahassee, now starting to move into the Jacksonville area and just south of Savannah. But here's how things progress as we go throughout the day. This eventually moves to the south and to the east, bringing in Orlando, Tampa through the overnight hours, eventually areas like South Florida. But notice how this loses a little bit of its intensity through the overnight hours. There's not much left by tomorrow morning, and there's not much to begin with too, about an additional inch of rain falling as we continue to watch this. Much drier for us tomorrow, and look at this slight, I guess we'll call it a warm up. We know it's warmer than where we have been. Near 50 in Atlanta, 55 in New Orleans, near 60 for you in Jacksonville, and that's where we're going to stay through Wednesday. But notice rain starting to move back into the Texas area, mainly South Texas and places like Houston, but the rest of us, pretty nice.